Good morning, good morning, good morning, bass heads. This video, I'm going to show you a really cool power move that I think everybody needs to know. If you're watching the replay, let me know where you're watching from. But let's get into it. I'm going to demonstrate an example of it right now. Now, you may recognize that from Bushwick or Shake Everything You Got. But check this out. Let's talk about what it is, why it works. This is going to work over major and dominant chords. So, in that particular example, I was playing over D, right? So D being the root. Let's look at the shapes. D, there's D major. Here's D dominant or D mixolydian. There's only one difference in those scales, and that is in major we have the major 7 here. In the mixolydian, we have the flat 7. But what do they have in common? Everything else is everything else about those is the same. Their functions are different. We won't dive too deep off into that, but there's a root, a major 2nd, a major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6th. All right? Type a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. The only difference is the 7th. Okay? The arpeggios that are associated with both of those chords, the triad on the bottom is going to be the same. That's going to be a root, a major 3rd, and a perfect 5th for both of those chords. Now, if we turn them into 7th chords, for a major 7, you're going to have a root, a major 3rd, a perfect 5th, and a major 7. For a dominant 7th chord, you're going to have a root, a major 3rd, a perfect 5th, and a flat 7. That's the only thing that is different about those two. Let's look at now 2 different fingerings, and this is going to be important for the exercise that we do in just a moment. So let's say this is shape 1. Let's just think about the triad right now. 2nd finger, 1st finger, 5th finger. 5th finger. Oh gosh. 2nd finger, 1st finger, and pinky on the perfect 5th. Now, if we take that same idea and we started it from the 1st finger, we have a root, a major 3rd, and a perfect 5th. So we do the 1st finger, the 4th finger, and the 2nd finger. Now, I'm going to call this one shape number 1. And I'm going to call this one shape number 2. I want you to remember that for the exercise that we do in a second. Shape number 1 and shape number 2. Okay? Now, we're going to take in this groove, this idea. I've been making a point to say in a lot of videos lately that you'll see me do videos without drum tracks on purpose. It's really 2. 1, I just want to do it quickly and I don't want to set up a drum groove. 2, is I believe that everybody in the band is responsible for time and groove. Everybody. And so I don't want to say a lot of people, some people struggle with time, and they don't have ways of getting time in their body. And the time has to be inside, right? So that's one point. The second point is, notice I played a 2-bar groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bar 1. 1, 2. Bar 2 is rest. And the reason I'm doing that is because first of all, when I think of grooves, and this is my thinking, and if you have another idea, I welcome dialogue in the chat or in the comments, not a problem. So I look at it as like these 2 measure blocks, right? 2 measure things that are repeated over time. So a lot of time you'll have the first bar, a variation in the second bar. The third, if we're thinking about a 4-bar groove, then the third bar will be identical to the first bar, and then the 4th bar will have more variation. Listen, that's not a rule. That's just a general principle that I think about. So here's an example of that. First, I'm going to use space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3. Rest. 2. Now variation. Let me know if that makes sense, either live here in the chat or in the replay. You can let me know if that makes sense. But right now, what I'm going to do is move this around the circle of fourths. It's early in the morning for me. It may be for you. So you may not have your bass in hand. That's cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this through the circle of four, starting on C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, back to C. Okay? So I'm going to do it by myself one time, and well, let's see. If I use shape number 1 here. 1, 2, 3. Repeat it. Now I'm going to go to F with shape 1. Let me make a note real quick. So even though I said I'm using shape 1, I'm not using my second finger, right? And I kind of did that out of habit, but you can do that. As long as you can visualize those patterns, you can come out of, the fingering. 2, 3, repeated. There was shape 2. Now to F, 3, 4. I'm already seeing the next key. I'm already seeing B flat because that's where I'm going next. Now I'm going to E flat. I'm already seeing the next key here is A flat with shape number 1. Which I can still play with my pinky. Now go to D flat. Now G flat. Now watch this. For G flat, I don't have the real estate there to do that chromatic move like I want to. My third is here, but I need to go from the second note, the 2, to the 3. That's the whole point. Why? That's why we're calling it a 2-3, because we're going from the 2 to the 3. I don't have a real estate, so I'm going to go to shape number 2. And also, I wouldn't normally play that like that with my third finger like that. What I would normally do, what I would normally do is I would play the first finger, second finger, fourth finger. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. And also, let's go on and get them likes up, man. We got 18 sets of eyes on only 9 likes. The like doesn't cost you anything, all right? Hitting the like button doesn't cost you anything. And if you aren't subscribed, go and do me a favor. If you're finding value in this and you find value in any of my content, I would love it if you would subscribe so I could show up on your feed. You know what I mean? So the like doesn't cost you anything. The subscribe doesn't cost you anything. So there's my root, my second scale degree, my chromatic note, and my third. Now, I'm going to admit, I don't think I explained that very well in the very beginning. Let's just keep it 100. Maybe I need more coffee. So there's G flat, now to B, M. Now let's go to E. Let's talk about these lower positions real quick. And how would we approach that in the lower position? I see those likes coming up. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm on a mission to get that silver play button. It may be a vanity metric for some folks, but for this man, having a silver play button would be great. It'd be great. So I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you liking so that the algorithm knows to push this out to more bass players like yourself who wanna play bass. You know what I mean? It ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. Let's go. Okay. Let's look at this circle of fourths get as much of it as we can in the lower positions, right? Here's C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B. Now watch this. E, A, D, G, back to C. You dig? So peep this. Let's say I do that whole business down in the lower positions. 1, 2, 1. You know what? I can't do that yet. I have to show you the lower string. So there's E, open E. Where's the 2? Where's 2 from E? It's F sharp. So we'll use shape number 2. You dig? For A, the same thing. For D, the same thing. So we'll call that shape 2. What about F? We'll use shape 2 again. What about B flat? We'll use shape 2. What about E flat? We'll use shape number 2. You dig? Now, we can use for G as well. Here we go. 1, 2. Try to stay in the lower positions. That's C. Rest. Let your mind get into it. And now we're going to go to F, 3, 4. One more time. Now we're going to B flat. I'm already telling my brain where B flat is. We're going to repeat it. Now we're going to E flat right now. And going to A flat, we're going to use shape number 1. Now we're going to go to D flat. One more time. D flat. Now we're going to G flat. With shape number 2 because it's easier to do it. And now we're going to B. Now we're going to go to E, but open with shape number 2. Now we're going to go to A, but use open A. And now we're going to D on the open string. And now we're going to go to G. That's shape number 2. Back to C. You dig? Let me know if that makes sense. I know I did some other stuff in there, just kind of waking myself up this morning and just got out the shower. You know what I mean? I had 1 cup of coffee. I probably should have had 2. Late night last night. Had a gig last night. For those of you who were on the live stream a few days ago, and I was talking about singing, and I was talking about discovering, just a little side note here, talking about discovering. I did wind up singing Bright Lights, Big City, going to my baby's head. Bright lights, big city, going to my baby's head. I tried to tell the woman, but she don't believe a word I said. It's all right. Okay, I did do that. I did wind up doing it, and it was actually fun. It was good. It was good. So, just to recap, what this move is, it's going from the 2nd scale degree to the 3rd scale degree, the major 3rd, with a chromatic note in between. It works on major chords and dominant chords, okay? A major chord and a dominant chord, the only thing that is the distinction between those two is the 7, okay? How they function is different. So like in blues you'll have dominant 7 chords the whole time, or 7th chords the whole time. A major 7 chord is going to function as a 1 or a 4. 9.9 out of 10 times, a dominant 7 chord is going to function as the 5. All right? That's your little theory nugget for the day. However, both of those chord types have a major triad on the bottom. What do I mean by the bottom? I just want to clarify this for Get Down Tonight. Casey and the Sunshine Band is a good example of this move. You hear this move all the time. There's so many songs that have this. So many players use this move that it's really hard for me to even remember like all the things, because it's it's almost like trying to remember when somebody says what. You know what I mean? The word what. So what do I mean by the bottom? Let's take A major. There's A major. There's the root. That's the lowest note. So we'll call that the bottom. On the bottom is A. We moved up. We went to the major third, but we went up. And then we went up. And then we went up. Does that make sense? So on the bottom for both of those, major 7, dominant 7, both of them have a major triad. Okay? Wake up, boy. Right? So there's that distinction. So we're going from the root, the major second, a chromatic note, into the major third. So there I'm playing the root with my pinky, right? So really, I only told you 2 shapes, but here's my major triad starting from my second finger. Here's that major triad starting from my pinky. And here's that major triad starting from my first finger. You understand what I'm saying? So there's the major third. There's the 2. There's that chromatic note that I was talking about. And then there's a third. And I know my strings I keep my action fairly low. So and I kind of like the character of rattling strings. So there you go. So but it wouldn't matter which finger I did this with. It wouldn't matter what finger I used, because there's that whole play it, see it, hear it, explain it. I am still seeing the shape, the playground that I'm in. I don't know why I always use the word playground, but that's kind of how I think about it. The real estate, if you will. Yeah, I mean? So, D. Scroggins, Bassheads, what's up? Excellent. What's up? Michael's Bass Camp, what's happening? We got Chevy Dodd in the house. Jeffrey Boyle is in the house. I love seeing the likes go up, guys. I really, Philly in the house. I love seeing the likes go up. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Remember, the likes don't cost you. And also, if I could ask you a favor, if you find this content helpful, and you have your social media channels you want to share, man, please do your boy a favor. Like some of the, I think it's, I don't know, man. I feel a little, I don't know if it's a good look for me to share my own content in bass Facebook groups. They get a little weird. Admins get a little weird sometimes. But, if somebody else does, but if you think that somebody else would value this content, man, let them know. Let them know. You know what I mean? Jeffrey Boyle, the man, the myth, the legend. So check it. Let's go through that exercise again. If you have a bass in your hand and you're able to follow along, I'm encouraging you to follow along. If you don't have a bass in your hand, shame. I had the sound effect. Where's it at? Where's that? This ain't it. That ain't it. It's gone. I don't have it. I thought I had it. I wanted to have the shame thing. You know what? Let me do this. For this round, I am gonna pull up Logic real quick and just see if I can get a groove going real quick for you. If I have a groove that's on tap. One moment. I'm gonna just find like some loops, but something that's not too goofy. I had some really dope loops, man, and let's see, we'll turn this down. Woo, that's cool. See, this is my problem. I start to looking at too many loops and I'd be like, ooh, what about this one? Ooh, what about this one? Ooh, what about this one? It's the tyranny of choice. So we're not going to do that. David Turcos, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Proper finger technique is something you're always going to be working on. I started using 3 fingers on my right hand since 1999 and still work on it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's always gonna be something to work on. I think that economy of motion is very important, and you're gonna always hear people talk about that. Speed. First of all, let's just talk about the concept of speed real quick. Speed is a byproduct of efficiency, and it doesn't really matter what we're doing. And I think I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but I'll give you an example. I used to do this, this thing. Now the line doesn't sound great on this bass, but is way up there. And so what I would do when I was younger and trying to learn this is look at how inefficient that is. It's inefficient to jump for me, it's inefficient to jump from all the way on the lower register all the way up here, but so instead of doing this here, I got time to do that. You see what I mean? But yeah, anyway, let's get back to this exercise. Can you guys hear the drum loop okay? Now I'm just going to play through it. Again, we're going through the circle of fourths and going through the circle of fourths. And I'm going to do it in different positions. One, two, three. C. Now F. F again. B flat, I'm gonna come here. Now I'm going to E flat. I'm gonna use position 2. Now I'm going to A flat. I should say also that when you see a note, say a note, right? I don't ever have to guess where D flat is. Or I'm anticipating going to G flat. I know I'm going there. Now I'm going to B. Let's go to B here. Give my brain a chance to process. I already know that I'm going to E now. What's the next key? The next key is going to be A. 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. Get it locked in. Now I'm going to D. Let me play D open now. What's the next key? It's A. What did I do just now? I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk and play at the same time. G. I totally lost my train of thought there. Happens to the best of us. C. All right, so P. C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C. Man, I'm telling you, if you see him, say him. If you say him, sing him. That's another nugget for you. If you see him, say him. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. If you say something, sing something. That's going to be a new catchphrase there, right? Let's unpack just for a moment. Let's unpack for a moment. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. The more you see it, the more you sing it, the more you say it, the less you have to guess where stuff is. One of the analogies that I like to use for this is there's a grocery store not far from me, and there's a brother that I met during COVID. And we just always have these interactions, right? Really friendly interactions. And, you ever meet somebody in your community and for whatever reason, you don't catch their name, but you always see them, hey man, how you doing? Yada, 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 right? Now, I recognize this brother when I could see him in any part of the city. I can describe him. He's shorter than me. I'm not a tall guy. He's shorter than me. He has a gold tooth. He always wears a baseball cap. He's got a beard. He walks a certain way. I have all these characteristics about him that I recognize. And those things help me, right? Those things help me. If I see him, I'm like, oh, hey, man. But that's not his name. His name isn't Man, right? His name is Barry. So, when's my next gig in St. Louis? No idea. Does that kind of make sense? Let me know if that analogy makes sense. But if I make an effort to know his name, if I make an effort to know his name, I know what he looks like. I know what he sounds like. I know how he walks, right? I know where I can find him, right? So I know if I go over to the grocery store, I know he's going to be working on his shift, yada, yada. But then I make an effort to know his name. Is this a good analogy? Let me know if this is a good analogy. So I use that I think about that the same way, like with rhythm. Let's take rhythm, for example. A quarter note broken into 4 equal parts. You have 1 E and or downbeat E and whatever the beat is, right? Beat number 1 is always going to feel 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The E. When I hear that, if I hear that feeling, I know that that's the E of a beat. I've heard it. I recognize it. I know how it makes me feel. But then once I identify it, I gotta say that's the E of the beat. If the same thing was true, like if it was beat 2, 1, 2, E, 2. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to store the actual name in your memory. Yeah, you have to store the actual name in your memory. You have to put it in you got to put it in your memory bank. You know what I mean? Hold on one second. All right. I hope that this made sense. I hope that this made sense. And what I really hope that you do, I hope that somebody watching this, don't just watch this video and do nothing about it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Think about places that you've heard this before, right? One thing I would do, the first example that I gave was, shake everything you got. Shake everything you got. Then somebody brought up the Barney Miller theme. What other songs? You could hear this in Duck Dunn's playing, Leland Sklar's playing, Louis Johnson's playing. The next thing I want you to do, like I said, you know what it is. You know you're going from ba-da-ba, my ears. You know where it's, you know what it is, right? Now you know how the sausage is made. Listen to, find it in the wild. Where can you identify it, right? And then in your own bass lines, use it in context. Play it. Actually use it. Do the exercise that we worked on today, or that I showed you today. I don't know, how able you are to play along with me, but put it into practice. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you another thing, another variation of this idea. And I'm going to play something. I'm going to just play. I ain't going to talk. And once you recognize, what this is, I want you to type it in the chat, okay? What did I do there? What song is that? What song is that? I'm going to wait. I ain't going to wait that long, but somebody type that in there. Somebody type in there, what song was that? Or you might recognize this. What's that? For you funk lovers. David says it's a Jamerson riff. Nope. You're wrong. Nope. Nope. Not stand. Here it is. There was a big hint. Okay, somebody's got the bridge to Skin Tight right. Somebody got the bridge to, but what was the first one? Joe Carter, you almost right. But we got to do you like a game show. Let's stay together. Let's stay together. But let's talk about this. That is the same move. Let's talk about it. So, D. One, two, three, four. So if 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gosh, my voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a major 10th. Okay? If 1, 2, 3, we go up an octave, it becomes 10. So why this move works, particularly with D, well, it works on everything. Still the same 2 chromatic, 3 major third move. Right? But when we go to that D, where's D? Right there. There's D. There's 2 chromatic, 3. But I can also play that D open. That was a really hastily explained. That was a really ill-explained. It was a poor way to explain that, but I think you got it. If you got it, type of 1 in the chat and 1 in the comments. So that's another way to do it. So let's say I did that. Just playing the octaves. Just playing the octave. And when I'm playing that, what's up, Stephen Bird? When I'm playing that, I'm playing my pinky, ring finger, first finger, pinky. That's a move I use all the time. That's a shape that I use a lot. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful, impactful in some way for somebody. I really do. I truly believe it ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. We're not curing cancer, we're playing bass, but we want to be able to pick up the bass and play with there's another connection. Indy 9 says sounds very Joe Dartish. Yeah. Because it's a move that is just it's a common move. It's You know, it's like, that's another common move. Right? Common moves. I gotta go. I have enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys have too. If you're not subscribed, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow some things around here. I will catch you in the next video or live stream. Thanks for hanging out with me. It ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. Peace, two fingers.